If you can pick a place in the world where you actually interact with several different nationalities several times a day, something that I love, it happens here. And that's Miami.
Miami's a very welcoming city.
It's a city that has open arms.
I think that we have iguanas in Miami for a reason. Iguanas are these animals that you can find them on the street, sunbathing. You can find them on a tree, you can find them on your ceiling, on the roof of the house. They change the color of their skin depending on where they are, like a chameleon, That is what is Miami. All those people that are coming here, they will change the color of their skin. They have to, because this is indomitable.
Miami has this gravitas that's not national, but that's global.
And I said, I've got a deal for you. You can be in the United States, and you can be outside of the United States and still be inside the United States, and it's called Miami.
Miami, a vibrant city located in the southern tip of Florida, where sun-kissed beaches, sparkling blue waters, and an international culinary scene attract visitors from all over the world. From the stunning Art Deco architecture of South Beach to the colorful murals of Wynwood, Miami is a place that celebrates creativity, diversity, and innovation. But beyond the glitz and glamour, Miami is also a city that faces challenges like climate change, economic inequality, and emerging social issues. This is why I wanted to explore the fascinating story of Miami, from its humble beginnings as a small trading post to its rise as a global city. My name is Andy Garcia, and as a long-term resident of Miami, I have come to see just how fast Miami has continued to evolve. So please join Ramiro Almeida in exploring the answers to the question, what is Miami now?
Imagine like global metropolis, global cosmopolitan city that has beautiful blue skies and beautiful blue water and palm trees, and like the weather is freaking awesome, and people, beautiful people, and the culture here is, why so serious, right? Everyone here is just about this positive energy, and when I saw that, I was like, I need to find out more often, more about this exciting city. So I started spending a lot more time. I came here once a month, during the summer season, winter season, just to really see. Yeah, and I just fell in love with the people, the space, the weather, and most importantly, I knew this city was going to somewhere, and I didn't know what it was, but intuitively I knew there was something that's exciting that's happening here, and I wanted to be part of it.
I would describe Miami still as a frontier city. I think that's been part of what has made Miami over the last century. And I think now it's the most inclusive frontier city that maybe exists, where you can plug in anywhere you want and make something happen. And it's a place where you don't have to ask permission to do much. And if you don't see something that you think should exist, there are the resources and the talent to make it exist.
everywhere I go and every event I have, you see a cross section of this world. Really, it used to be a tri-ethnic city, and now it's a truly multicultural city. And every year we get better and better at that, and I think it's a huge strength for us. The fact that we're an immigrant community, the fact that we accept everybody, no matter what your persuasion is, no matter what your sexual orientation. In our city, we want people to be accepted, we want people to be happy, we want people to be at peace, and we want them to be successful. And so we're creating the kind of model that allows for that. And so for me, that's what excites me about the city. I see a city that has its best days ahead of it, which you can't unfortunately say that for every city.
Miami is a city and a community that has historically been so transient. We've always had immigrants. We've always had people come. I was one of them. And it was so welcoming, and not just welcoming in the sense that, you know, people are nice to you, but people go out of their way to make sure that you feel connected. And that was, I think, my first exposure to Miami.
And it's a city that doesn't really look at you in terms of your race, your sex, or the color of your skin. It's also a city that doesn't judge you according to how much money you have or you don't have. And it's a city that if you come and you hustle, you can make it. And you can have great friends, and you can build a business, you can scale a business, and you can be part of the group that's shaping the city. In contrast, we're New York. You know, New York, you need a lot of money and a lot of power to make it, to get established. And I think this part of the American conversation is a lot more enticing to me.
It's a city that still has a lot of flash, it has a lot of superficial stuff, but again, I mean, it also is what makes Miami interesting, right? Because otherwise it would be boring like Silicon Valley. I mean, I think it's, you know, like I never wanted to be there because, I mean, sometimes you need those extremes, you know, and you need those things because it makes for the fauna of Miami. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't say there's anything I don't dislike. The question is, what could I fix, or, you know, what could I have a role in making better?
It's nice to have a mix of people, right? It's nice to meet people of different backgrounds and different perspectives, and we love this new injection of different cultures.
So I think it's just a very welcoming place, and I think it thrives on immigration. It's very pro-immigration, it's pro-accents. No one's judging us if we don't know if we're going to speak in Spanish or in English first. You know, it's what makes a city, people see that as an asset and not as a problem. And I really think that's what makes Miami completely different from any other major city in the US.
So many people have come here that for the first time I feel like it's all here and I don't need to go anywhere. I mean, the biggest challenges that I think we have are first having affordable housing. Because we're this international mecca, there are lots of people that don't necessarily have a normal job that can buy residential property here. And so it creates a scarcity of affordable housing and increases the cost of land, the cost of construction. I think we really need to focus on that. Transportation is becoming more and more of an issue. But as you see these problems emerge, there are solutions.
As a multicultural melting pot, Miami has set the bar for what it means to be a truly global city. On any given night, one can stroll down Biscayne Bay and hear the romantic sounds of diverse languages dancing on the air. When you live in a city this diverse, you can't help but feel an expanded sense of self. Borders take on less meaning. There is something special in knowing you're surrounded by people from all walks of life. Beautiful faces, beautiful colors, and beautiful smiles come together to make this city one of a kind. Institutions like the Lyric Theater in historic Overtown played host to legends like Sam Cooke and Ray Charles.
Rich city in some aspects, and it's also a very complex city from a social integration part of view in other aspects, right? So you have that mix here, and we can't neglect that the two of them needs to be living here and working together somehow. And if we want to bring in talent, if we want to bring in the young people to be able to thrive in content creation and whatever it might be, in whatever format it might be, there need to be a way for them to figure out a way to live, to have an income, to have a house, to be able to commute, to be able to go to the places back and forth. That I think is extremely important. I don't know exactly what the situation is today. I know there is a lot of supply of housing here, but we also need to figure out how can we make that sustainable for the younger kind of generation coming into the city, so that we make sure that this city is not only built on capital, but it's also built on talent. And talent coming again from the mid-tier, not only from the big blockbusters.
Very often, to be something or to be somebody, they could not figure out how to be at home. For political reasons, for economic reasons, for educational reasons, for whatever reasons. This place provides openness, it provides security, it provides capital, it provides rule of law. It's pluralistic, it is multicultural. It includes 3/4 of us born someplace else, for Pete's sake, half from a foreign country. Now, if that doesn't tell you this is a place where you've got to have your change, you've got to be able to change, evolve, at least evolve, but you'd better also be prepared to change. Dave Barry once wrote in the paper that there are no bad drivers in Miami, which may come as a surprise to some people. But he insisted there are no bad drivers in Miami. It's just that we all drive according to the traffic laws of our native country. And sometimes sometimes they clash. It was a joke, but like a lot of good humor, it's based on the reality.
Culturally, the people that are in Miami are not really here. They're so well connected with their countries of origin that you're able to test ideas, test solutions, test products in a way that you wouldn't be able to do in any other market. I think the other thing that we can think about as a real opportunity is how might we be a city, an ecosystem that intentionally designed itself to be inclusive and equitable. Oftentimes, inclusion, equity, and access are an afterthought where we begin to see a problem and say, oh my gosh, we should solve for it. We can be a market that really creates the blueprint for designing inclusive, equitable ecosystems.
Language is one thing, but culture is a completely different thing. Anyone today can be an engineer, anyone can be a marketeer, anyone can actually be an economist, and But if you really want to stand out, you have to understand cultural language, right? And Miami has that, right? And my kind of career, or whatever I want to call it, is based on that.
That 3/4 of the people who live in Miami today were born someplace else. The fact that half of those people come from a foreign country, that alone tells you that you've got an issue of transience, you've got an issue of competing cultures. So you can either try to mold them into one dominant culture, or you can recognize the value in pluralism, and that kind of diversity can, if harnessed, if peaceful, can actually lead to the evolution of a different kind of culture. I felt that's where we were headed. I felt that's where I felt Miami was naturally headed, and our contribution then had to be through finding the lowest common denominator kind of activity. I thought about public education, I thought about sports, I thought about environment, and I thought about arts and culture.
We are all different, but we are all sharing the same joy, fears, even though we look different, we speak different, and we eat different things, we're the same. So I think kind of understanding that the human being is so similar and so interesting, and there's nothing to be afraid of. Being with other people that, again, look different and they eat different and they say different things is something that kind of triggered me enormously. And it opened up an appetite that I still have not been able to kind of calm down for how people are from different parts of the world. I love that. I think it's super interesting.
My Idaho Herald was a completely different newspaper for a completely different community of readers who happened to share the same geography. It didn't matter to me, and my role was not in convincing them they needed to have a standard American point of view. My role was in informing community, so in the words of Jack Knight, so that the people may determine their true interests. And my sense was that we had a vibrant Cuban and Latin American community that had a different sense of humor, that had a different sets of values, that looked at the world differently, that was interested in different news. Central America, Brazil, Argentina, the Caribbean. That was the meat and things happening in the Latin community.
Miami is a blank canvas. Like, Miami is still a young city. Miami gives you the ability to create the environment that you want. And people are willing to support you here. I mean, you can easily build relationships in Miami. You can easily use Miami as a jump-off point to the Caribbean. You can easily use it as a jump-off point to Latin America. And Miami is a great testing ground for you to test any products and culturally test it.
A truly diverse community is splendid, but it isn't without its challenges. Different cultures with different values and worldviews will inevitably collide whenever there's a conflict of interest. Miami's diversity isn't only in ethnicity. There's a large wealth gap here that can be felt more starkly than any other American cities. This is perhaps the most difficult problem the city faces. And yet, to many, Miami is still a land of opportunity. Expensive to live in and get by in, the city still remains full of exciting new horizons to explore, full of promise and full of hope.
When it comes to these two anchors and pillars of community and sustainability, I think there's a lot of really interesting experiments that I've had the opportunity to run and see what happened. On the sustainability side, this may seem like it doesn't fit in the definition of sustainability because we always think about environmental issues, climate change, degradation. But to me, sustainability also means economic mobility. Looking at certain communities that have plateaued in their ability to come up over the poverty line. Most people don't know that 79% of Black families in Miami-Dade County have zero liquid assets. Zero liquid assets. And so many families, Black, Latino alike, are living one crisis away from poverty.
I have participated in many visits to other cities along with a delegation from Miami to talk about moving to Miami in the past. The first question that is always asked is about education. Always, never fails. And I think we should keep that in mind all the time because we live in a world where lifelong learning is here to stay. Businesses change. The nature of technology is such that new ideas, new procedures, new forms come into the market every day. And I think it's very important that there is a very open system for training, retraining, upskilling of people.
There is a sense of freedom in the air here. People come from all over the country and all over the world to have a taste. Freedom to be who they really are, in particular the LGBTQ+ community, which has an ever-present footprint in Miami since the early 1930s. Even Latino communities that come from traditionally conservative roots in their home country arrive at Miami accepting its sexual diversity. While it may not be the LGBTQ+ safe haven advertised, people still come here with dreams of a better, more tolerant future.
Miami doesn't have really a middle class. You either have the haves or you have the have-nots, because we've been a tourist destination. So either they're working in hospitality or tourism, or they have it. They're in finance, they're in entrepreneurship, they're in fashion. So they're in medicine, biotech. But so now you have a lot of these innovation dollars coming here, these investment firms, and I think Knight Foundation, UM and their hospital and their biotech program, you have a lot of opportunity for Miami to take a lot of that Bostonian money and bring it down to Miami and wrap it around UM or wrap it around other institutions like FIU, which is one of the largest engineering institutions in the nation and 8th largest graduate of Black engineers in the nation. So
there are, I think, really important issues of wealth inequality in this city. We have enormous wealth and we have tremendous poverty living side by side in a very close geography. That's dangerous for a society.
Really amazes me that there's a lot of people that doesn't have accessibility to minimum health care in Miami. And I would say that Miami is one of the cities in the United States where there's more contrast between the wealthiest and the poorest. So I hate that. I hate there's a huge gap there. I don't know what we can do. I believe the technology can help a lot in that, solving that problem, but we have to be able to get all the people more opportunities, because that's something that I see it around the corner in Miami every time. So that's one of the things that I am part of the problem and I want to be part of the solution.
But the reality is, equity requires us to think that people don't start from the same starting block.
I realized that talent is universal, but opportunity is not. And when you open the door of opportunity very wide, what happens is that people who want to really change their life for the better will take advantage of that. Whatever you learn, whatever knowledge you accumulate, is going to stay with you. That's the only thing nobody will ever take away from you.
When we look at sustainability, it's beginning to think about people as the primary asset. And how do we make sure that the people that are here, the people that have been here, and the people that don't have the privilege can have real on-ramps and pathways to be able to, through a sense of self-determination and access, make their own way.
We realize that the skills that are necessary to assume the new jobs that are being created in this technological society require more than high school. And those that do not have access to that kind of learning are going to be in a cycle of poverty for the rest of their lives. And in Miami, we've been lucky to have that equalizer. Again, Miami-Dade College, that allows everyone that opportunity. And we see the results. We see the results through in more ways than one, because it's not just about classrooms and teachers. It is about engaging with the community. It's a place where the community is welcome. And make sure that everyone has the opportunity to harness his or her full potential. That to me is key. The issue of equity, inclusion are paramount in the way that I see this city growing. But it has to be taken care of. It has to be nurtured.
Miami is such a who you know city in the best way possible, but it's who you know that opens up opportunities for you, not what you know and how well you've been able to execute. People will take a chance on you because they believe in you, because they know you. And so building an inclusive community requires that simply you create more people that are well known, that have professional intimacy, they have real relationships. And so a lot of what needs to be done, but what has been done to date, is really around the social fabric.
So there is a big concept that everybody's talking about, which is diversity, diversity, diversity. Everybody talks about diversity, but nobody makes it happen. It's a fact. Nobody makes it happen, right? ESG is here, ESG there's, ESG there, but nobody cares about ESGs. And in fact, if you put all the money together that so many initiatives all over the world, and in the United States in particular, are getting together to get ESGs, I guess that's several $billion for sure. But at the end of the day, the numbers are the numbers, and the numbers say that less than 3% women raise capital, minorities, people of color. So hopefully there's a lot of people riding this wave, and hopefully soon, next year, we stop using the diversity thing, because the decision makers all over the world have decided to do things right and not to talk a lot about that without making anything happen.
I love being in Miami. I don't think that we've ever had to think about how we live as a gay couple. I think that we've never had any challenges with anyone, actually. We've never had any issues whatsoever being in Miami. I think that quite the contrary. We were welcomed by everyone, and I think that it is because we live our life authentically.
People appreciate honesty, even if they might not agree with your point of view, but if they see that you're 100% honest, people appreciate that. And so that's why we always say, like, when you're truly authentic the way you really are, you develop more meaningful connections with other people, right? What else do you want to know? I feel like you're going to have a lot of questions. No, I want to hear what the questions.
The world has changed, and change is the only constant, somebody said, right? So we need to make sure that we change along. So we provide opportunities for young people today to be able to emerge and make a difference.
The future seems bright for Miami. It continues to serve as a shining example of what can be achieved when diverse communities learn to work and live together. Solutions arrive easily when there's a mixture of backgrounds, cultures, and experiences working towards a shared goal. And for Miami, that goal is clear: pushing society forward. No community is ever perfect. There is no heaven on earth, and Miami has a long and winding road ahead to tackle inequality and intolerance. But for those looking for a place with virtually no limits to what they can achieve, Miami comes close.
Anytime an artist would come, when Shakira came looking for Emilio to work with her young talent, and we were so impressed with her and her talent that we fought hard to help make happen for Shakira what happened, although it's on her talent. I mean, you have to be able to deliver. J-Lo, Emilio got her to, Tommy Mottola to sign her. anytime we had the opportunity, John Sakata, who I'm a huge fan of, and we asked him, hey, will you come with us on tour? Because yes, Emilio's working on an album for you, but I can, when I do a quick change, I can give you a whole song for you to get out there and show your stuff. So you're gonna be planting the seeds worldwide for your album that is gonna come. And that's exactly what happened. You know, he already had fans even before the record came out. So for us, it was so important to support other Latin artists that were trying to break through and that we knew could. And it makes us, it fills us with a lot of, you know, happiness that if we were in any way helpful, because all we got was no all the time. And we wanted to give yeses, and it continues to be that way.